So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, doctor. Hope
How
you're
is
well.
everyone? Alhamdulillah. How is everyone? So, I know this is hectic. You've been doing MTAs and then you transition to Quiz 2. That can be very taxing, I know. Okay, so today, inshallah, we have a number of things actually to address. There is something that I would like to talk to you about and share with you, and let me perhaps solicit your views and opinions about it, and then we move on to feedback. I'll give you feedback on what you did and what you perhaps didn't do in the midterm exam, and then we move to voices in the park. I'd like to start off by talking about misinformation. And misinformation can be as small as perhaps evaluating a teacher and saying that he is too good or perhaps too bad. And it can be as big as, talking about the whole country and, getting false information about the system and, um, you know, perhaps the way people are doing stuff in their daily life. So how do you? I'm asking everyone, and this is up for grabs. Let's talk about misinformation. Let's talk about how you guys kind of sort out the good from the bad when it comes to the information that you receive, whether on social media or even among peers and colleagues and friends. So how do you handle information? Do you receive stuff as is and believe it, or you do your own fact checking or what? Let's talk about that.
In general, do you mean doctor when it comes to just
Yeah,
regular
yeah. No,
information?
I'm talking about you, about your individual lives. Everyone has his own way of consuming information, and obviously, information comes in different forms and shapes. Some of it is obviously honest and truthful, and some others are not or is not. So let's talk about that.
I feel after becoming a part of literature and as a literature student, my search has become more, I would say, concise, where I focus on what is being said and who says it, especially when gathering information regarding stuff that I would perceive political or religion.
Mhm.
I have to understand who's saying it and from where they're coming from to be saying that.
Yeah. So it's not about taking stuff as is.
No, no.
Um, it's not. I mean, you obviously challenge whatever you receive.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah. Can you give us an example? Can you think of an example, a piece of information that you received and you were doubtful about the source, about even the kind of information provided, and ways as how you double checked and fact checked it?
Recently, stumbled across a prayer that people said that how would I say it? It was related to the prophet.
Hmm.
I've never heard it before, so I went and I searched. It's not related to the prophet. It's related to Sahaba.
Uh-huh.
So hadith mursal, ما هو hadith صحيح.
Okay, you know what this means in English? Because it's an equivalent. I mean, they call it apocrypha. Are you familiar with this term? So
No,
when it
apocryphal.
comes, yeah, when apocrypha, when it comes to the study of theology and religion, whatever is not standard religion, whatever people may think, that whatever people may be. doubtful of, and they are not sure about the source. Perhaps it's superimposed. We call it apocrypha.
That's
And
interesting to know.
yeah, yeah. So what you have proven to yourself, at least, was the fact that this is apocrypha or mawdu'. Sometimes they call it in Arabic hadith mawdu', right? Hadith mawdu' means that you cannot trace it back to the origin, right? You have a chain of narrators, and you have to make sure that those
Yes.
narrators are honest. And I mean, it's they call it uh, um, what الجرح والتعديل in Islamic theology.
Yes.
That's it. They call it also علم الرجال.
Oh, that's new
Uh,
information for me. I'm gonna look that up.
yeah, yeah, please. That's interesting. Thank you so much, Sufana. Let's talk or perhaps listen to what other people have to say about ways as how they can receive information and whether they question it, whether they challenge the source or not. Mm. You don't receive information. You were born yesterday, everyone. What? Let's talk about that. How do you handle information? And if you smell that this is not information, it's misinformation. So how do you handle misinformation about your identity, about your legacy, about your country? Would that make you all the more adamant about checking and fact checking?
To be honest, doctor, after with
Yeah.
AI exclusively,
Mhm.
what we can believe and what we cannot believe has become a lot more difficult. We have to constantly find ways to realize if this newslet is worthy, if this video is actually accurate or not. The videos are becoming a lot more accurate than they were before, and it's hard to differentiate what is real from reality. So
Yeah,
you have to be very careful with the sources that are giving you information.
absolutely. Yeah. How about everyone else? What do you do, guys? You shut your ears against information, whether it's good or bad. وتريحوا نفسكم or what? Come to the mic and share. So what's the takeaway? I mean, because you're adamant about not sharing. What's the takeaway? Should we take stuff for granted and accept whatever other people are saying as is, the truth and nothing but the truth? Hmm. So the takeaway is that we shouldn't, of course. We need to scrutinize everything. We need to challenge whatever information we receive, right? It's not that we become so doubtful of every single piece of information, but you know, some information sounds and seems not okay. So going the extra mile and checking wouldn't harm anyone. What do you think? Especially when it comes to information about our legacy, about our country, our identity as Muslims, as Arabs, as Saudis, as see. So it's about, you know, being on, keeping your guard up about misinformation because, like Sufana just said, it's all over the place with AI being in full swing. You cannot escape it. So some misinformation may leak from within the cracks. So obviously you need to be careful. You need to do your homework and you need to do your due diligence, like they say, check, do research, right? Okay, so this is interesting. So let's move to something else because you guys are not very responsive. Let's talk about feedback. Um, I have marked your MTAs, and the MTAs are on the SIS if you have noticed. Um, and let's talk about them. So let's talk about let's be positive and talk about the good stuff about those marks because يعني, a good number of people got high marks. Let's reflect on the exam and what you think of the exam. Let's talk about your marks and then we can give feedback. I mean, we can get to the details why you got this and not that mark. Hmm. So, yeah, Haya. Haya, let me ask you, are you with us? Because I don't
No,
know.
doctor. I'm with
Ah,
Dr. Mohsen.
okay. So you received your marks or not yet?
Not yet. That's why
Okay.
I'm asking you
Yeah, go
your
ahead.
response or feedback to the marks. Is it that applicable for other session or only your session?
I only have I mean, the scripts of my session, of course, right? But you may benefit from whatever we're going to say and whatever feedback we're giving to your colleagues.
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
So you only correct your session.
Yeah, I will correct my session.
Okay, thank
Uh,
you.
and you're with Miss Dr. Arwa or Dr. Moss?
No, I'm with Dr. Mohsen.
Okay. I'm sure you're going to get a high mark because you're an excellent student. Yeah, hi.
Thank
Hi,
you so much.
you're
Really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Let's move to somebody else. Mhm. So I gather that Zahra hasn't done the exam yet. She's waiting for the makeup. Zahra Dawood, right?
Yes,
Okay.
doctor.
Okay, Zahra. I mean, I think the schedule, the MTA makeup schedule is already out on the website. You need to go and check. The same applies to Sufana. Sufana, you haven't done EA 300A for obvious reasons, right? Um,
Yes, inshallah,
Sufana,
next week on Tuesday.
inshallah. Sufana, and we also had who else? Dana, I think, right? Okay. طيب, again, we're talking about feedback. Let me give you my overall impression about, yeah, in a sense, we're not talking about individual students, unless you want me to talk about individual students. If you don't have any problem with that, we can always talk about those
I wouldn't
individual
mind.
cases. Okay. Let me give you my overall assessment of the whole experience. Let me first of all, again, thank you for the efforts. You did a very good job. You wrote considerably. It was, for the most part, relevant and comprehensive, clear. Yeah, sometimes not very clear, but I can understand. What I didn't like was perhaps the fact that people have a tendency to retell the story, which is something that we don't want. And that can take space. And again, I keep stressing the fact that it's not about writing too much. So if I ask you to write a short answer, I don't expect you to write 2 pages because that happened with some people. So obviously, 2 pages means that they expanded uh, on the ideas that we asked for and the ideas that we didn't ask for. It's exactly like setting their own questions. And this is something that I keep warning people against. The idea that you write your own questions and you set out to answer them. This is not acceptable, obviously. Um, again, you need to focus on what is required. You need to be relevant. This is called relevance, and obviously the idea or the strategy, because it's the strategy for some people, the strategy of giving us everything in the answer and then leaving us to choose the part that is relevant is this is not relevant at all, right? And it doesn't get you marks. It takes marks from you, I promise you. And this happened on a number of occasions with a number of people. Sometimes you have also, and correspondingly, you have short answers, answers that are very short. So for an answer, whether it's long, whether it's answering a long answer or a short answer, for an answer to be complete, it has to be comprehensive. And we spoke about this comprehensiveness so many times. And comprehensiveness means that you're being relevant, you are being clear, and you're illustrating, you're giving illustrations from the book that you're supposed to answer from, whether it's a picture book or a novel. So illustrating is very important. And if you're illustrating, and if you're writing a small introduction, and if you're analyzing, obviously this is going to take more than one paragraph for short answers, right? So if you're giving me only a small paragraph, which would include a rephrasing of the prompt, obviously you haven't written anything, right? And this is something that I have seen on a number of occasions. So again, you need to be careful with your answers. Short does not mean that you should be too short, and it doesn't uh, um, mean that you should be too long either. Okay, so holding this golden mean is very important. And we measured it and we said that half a page would be fine, provided that you're concise and to the point and everything in between. Again, the tendency to retell the story is there. The tendency to be generic and talk about everything in the novel or the picture book is there. Again, those are things that I wasn't happy about. Um, I wouldn't talk also about the handwriting because sometimes it's not very readable. I wouldn't talk about the organization of the page. And obviously, it doesn't happen so often. We have people who, instead of writing a well-organized essay divided into paragraphs with clear demarcation between the paragraph and the other, we have one long paragraph. So if we tax you and judge you based on this, you will lose marks. We're looking the other day when the other way when it comes to this idea of organization. If we judge you based on that, you are going to lose big. See? So again, I'm stressing the fact that you need to divide your effort into paragraphs, clear-cut paragraphs, that people know when your paragraph starts and when it ends. And again, it's not about geography. It's not about punctuation as much as it is also about this abstract level, the cohesion and the coherence that you're maintaining within the essay itself. this abstract philosophical level of things. So if you cannot come close to this idea of philosophy and this idea of coherence, at least give us, make a show of it by dividing your paragraph or your essay into paragraph, clear-cut paragraphs. To have an introduction and body paragraphs, and then you conclude. Yeah, let's. These are my overall impressions about your scripts. Again, I'm stressing the fact that you did a good job. You could have done better, of course, but you still have 50 marks ahead the final exam. And I think quiz 2 was also a good exercise. And I'm hopeful that you did better in quiz 2, of course. Okay, right. Let's talk about individuals, people who would like me to dig deep and tell them. Um, Lama is saying my grade is low. Will it get higher with the quizzes and activities? You tell. Yeah, it can. Yeah, there is no reason it will not if you do the necessary work, if you learn from your errors, and obviously you are in this category of people who are perhaps generic or too little in their answers, or perhaps too long. Perhaps you're not relevant. These are things that you need to think of and consider if you would like to have a higher mark. Let's just start with Lama. Let me go to her paper and see what she did and what she perhaps didn't do. Lama Hassan. Yeah. You want me to reveal how much you scored? Because it's already on the SIS. Lama, is it okay?
Yes, doctor.
Hi, Lama, how are you? So, Lama Hassan, you scored 16 out of 30. And let me break down the mark. So, in question one, you scored 2 point and a half. In question two, you scored only 2 out of 5. And in question three, a long essay, 11 and a half. And let me see what I said. Very short answers to start with. I mean, the answers do not say. I mean, part of the answer for you is to rephrase the prompt, and that would take space. And then what is left is a couple of lines. Okay, and I'm giving you 2.5. I should have given you perhaps less, but don't tell anybody. And then the same applies to the second short answer, where you're not saying much. You're not saying much. No, you're not saying much, and you scored 2 out of 5. And then the seemingly long answer, yeah, again, if you count the spaces that you're leaving between the paragraphs, and if we put it together, it would amount, it would be only 1 page. And obviously, 1 page is never enough to cover the question in a comprehensive way, where you answer all the aspects of the question. Again, in spite of the fact that it is not a very long answer, you have also a tendency to retell what is happening. So no depth, no analysis. So you need to work on that. Yeah, Lama. Analysis is very important. You know, writing more is very important. Illustrating and giving examples are also very important. Okay, let's move to somebody else. This was Lama. Let's move to who else would like me to highlight um, and break down their scores. No one? Are you sure? Yeah, Najwa, Nabil, Najwa Nabil. Najwa Al-Shami, are you? Najwa Nabil is the same as Najwa Shami or two different individuals? No, Najwa. Okay, Najwa. Yes. So you scored 19, um, I mean, and 75, which, yeah. So 1975. So let me break down the mark. It's 3 in the first question, uh, 3 3/4 in the second, and 13 is the long essay mark. So it's 19 3/4. Your first answer out of 3 is generic. You're talking about so many things. You're talking about the historical relevance of, I don't know whether you were talking about the novel or this idea of ghostness. It wasn't very clear. I mean, you're talking about the Second World War, and obviously this is not very relevant. The second question uh, is called 3 3/4, which is not a bad mark at all. Again, you focused on defining what anthropomorphism is, but you didn't delve deep into the significance of that, and perhaps certain situations and incidents in the novel. And then the close reading was very short. I gave you 13 out of 20 because it was very short. Remember what I said about close reading, whether this close reading is a picture or a passage. And I said close reading does not mean that you only focus on the picture or the passage. Those are points of departure. You start with them. You start with them, but you never end with them. They take you to other parts of the novel or the picture book. We're talking about underlying significance. We're talking about other situations in the novel or in the picture book. So you obviously limited yourself to the picture. And this is well and good and everything, but you need to move beyond that and talk about other aspects, other relevant aspects from the picture, which you didn't do. Yeah, Najwa. I think you have potential. You can do better than that, I'm sure. And I take whatever I'm saying under advisement, and you are on your way towards scoring better. Thank you. Who else would like me to highlight the
Doctor, I have a
yeah,
question.
yeah,
I
go
will pass
ahead, yeah.
this course or not?
What?
I will pass this course or not?
Who? Me?
Me.
Me or you? Why why do you think they're not going to pass this course? Are you not going to try
No, I
to?
will try, but
Yeah,
my grades.
yeah, I mean, you still have, I don't know what you did in the second quiz, and you still have 50 marks in the final exam. Of
In
course,
the
you can.
second quiz also, I don't analyze the.
Let's see.
Okay,
And
thank
try
you.
to be optimistic, and we still have time. You still have 50 marks, like I'm saying, and you can turn yourself around and get a good mark. So don't quit, don't give up, okay? Hmm. Who else?
Can I, doctor?
Yeah, okay. Let's go to Sufana and see what she did. It struck me that you're writing Sufan, not Sufana. And it took me some time to figure out whether you are the Sufana that I know or perhaps somebody else,
Did I
right?
not write my full name?
You write Sufan, no
Maybe
A.
I forgot my A at the end.
Yeah, yeah. It took me some time,
My apologies.
and that's fine. Okay, so what should I say about your
Is my
uh,
handwriting okay? That's the first point since you mentioned the handwriting.
yes, I'll come to that.
Okay.
Let me break down your score. You have 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 18 out of 20. So one of the best scripts.
Alhamdulillah.
Uh, again, you said it yourself. You write very beautifully, but not very beautifully. Uh,
Okay, I'll try to work on
and
that.
in terms of ideas, you're doing an excellent job, and I know you, of course, from before, and I expected that. What I didn't like is um, the organization with short answers. You're perhaps under the impression that short answers should be written in only one paragraph, right?
Mm.
Which is not,
Okay, so I can do
I
it in
mean,
multiple paragraphs.
yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're talking about a number of points,
Yes,
right?
yes. Mm,
So every point should have a paragraph of its
indeed.
own,
Mm.
right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Um, your handwriting is good. If only you can be careful about those organizational things that I'm talking about, the idea that you divide your paragraphs.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
But for the essay, is it clear?
it was, yeah, it was better
Okay.
off because it's a long essay, and of course, you know that if you're
Mm,
writing an academic essay, you need to divide it
yes.
into sections and paragraphs.
Okay.
Yeah, very comprehensive, to the point. In terms of length, I mean, the length is very considerable. You did an excellent job, really. The answer is very profound and very deep. Enough illustrations and everything. And let me congratulate you on your performance. Yeah, Sufana. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, doctor.
Mm. Okay, so who else would like me to talk about her paper since you guys are all young ladies? Nana?
Doctor,
Yeah. Let's,
Um,
yeah, okay,
I
okay.
just for confirmation, I talked to Safana about it because I freaked out. They gave me a 0 out of 30 in the SIS, although I postponed the exam.
Who did that? I mean, normally we leave it blank. There shouldn't be a zero. There isn't a zero. Perhaps you saw it empty, you thought it's a zero. You haven't,
No,
you
no, that's 0 out of 30.
well, it will change when you do, inshallah, when you do the makeup. Perhaps it's automatic because you didn't show up in the main exam, right? So they give a zero until further notice, until
So like the
they see
zero
whether
will change, right?
when you come, you're coming for the makeup, right?
Yes, yes, inshallah.
Well, yeah, when you come to the makeup and do the exam, I go and take the mark that I gave, or I will give you, and then I put it there. So the zero vanishes.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. Nana, I think you raised your hand, right?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Why? Why did you raise your hand?
You,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
you asked whether anyone would like you to analyze that paper.
Yeah. And what was your mark? Just to remember what your mark was or is.
I didn't check yet.
You didn't check. If I say it's 25.5 or 25 and a half, would that make you happy?
Oh, very.
Okay. Do you still want me to go through it?
Yes, go ahead, doctor.
Okay. Where are you? Are you in Jeddah or Riyadh or Medina or where?
Riyadh.
Riyadh. Okay. Your first answer, again, the problem that we had with Sufana, the fact that um, unfortunately, your short answers are one long paragraph.
Yes, I actually wanted to ask whether a short answer is supposed to be in the form of a paragraph or not.
I mean, how long have you been with us? Nobody alerted you to this before?
Uh, yeah.
It takes away from the depth and the beauty of the answer. Your handwriting is amazing. Your ideas are also equally
Well, that's the
amazing.
first time actually
No,
someone's telling me my handwriting is good.
it's
Thank you,
no, it's
doctor.
it's very good. Mashallah. But the only problem is that it's one long paragraph, and obviously this is even straining for the eyes, right? You cannot really tell where. Of course, we know where you started, but we don't know where you're ending a point in order to move on to the second, right? And obviously, short answers are like long answers. They have different aspects. So we need to know which aspect you're talking about in this part, and then you move on to another aspect. This is obviously missing if it's a long paragraph. And again, paragraphs have limits, and if they exceed the limits, they are no more comprehensible or they don't make sense because again, their length would make it or make them very straining for the eyes. So this is my observation about your short answers. One of them is three and three quarters. It could have been four and perhaps five had it not been for the organization or the lack thereof. Your second short answer is 4. Again, it's the answer is very good, very comprehensive and relevant. But again, you took 4 because of the organization or perhaps the lack thereof. Um, your long essay is good and it is divided into paragraphs. It's true, but I mean, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say short because it's not, but it's not as long as I would expect it because length with long essays would mean that you're covering all the aspects of the questions. Um, you got 17 and 3/4, which obviously is a very good mark. Again, if you think of these small things and if you work on them, you're on your way towards achieving more and earning more marks. Thank you, Nana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Wafa, you were raising your hand. Let me check what you said. When will the quiz result be released? Perhaps tomorrow, inshallah. Anybody else? Okay, so we now, yeah, Nana, go ahead. You're raising your hand.
Doctor,
Yeah,
please, when is the makeup quiz?
for what? The second quiz?
Yes.
I don't know. It's something that the deanship decides because as a default, we don't provide makeups for the second quiz because obviously it's on campus and the logistics are very difficult. So I think we need to check with the deanship and see when it is. But perhaps you need to keep, I don't know, I don't believe it would be tomorrow. Uh, Let me check and get back to you, inshallah. Um, okay. Anybody else? Okay, bye. We'll stop on this note with this idea of feedback and break for 10 minutes. And when we come back, inshallah, we start another episode or another chapter on voices in the park. How about that? So
Okay, thank you, doctor.
I'll see you in 10 minutes, inshallah. Bye bye. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, doctor, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. So it's Voices in the Park, everyone. Uh, spoke. So have you had a chance to perhaps dig deep into other aspects of Voices in the Park? Did you check what perhaps the critics said about it? Because we have a number of critics, right, who spoke about it, and judging from the praise that the picture book received, you can almost tell that it has credibility and it has credence, and everybody is talking about it. So, have you done any research, perhaps out of curiosity, see whether your impressions coincide with literary due diligence, what other people are saying? We didn't do any of that.
I explored the illustrations
Yeah.
aspect of it more because I found the surrealism of them reflecting the modern European art,
Hmm.
which is very expressive. And they mentioned many inspirations like Magritte, Norman Rockwell, all of these artists who could have reflected the work or got inspired, or the work was inspired by their artistic work.
Hmm. So it's intertextuality, but it is not verbal or it is not written, it's implied. So this is perhaps another
Yeah, it's
kind
visual.
of intertextuality. When we talk
Yes.
about verbal intertextuality, textuality when it comes to words and phrases, referencing and cross-referencing other works. When we talk about visual intertextuality in the sense that you may have pictures and paintings by other painters, and you also have this implied kind of intertextuality where it's not, you know, concrete images or works of art that we're seeing inspiration happening, right? Um, so it's intertextuality after all, this idea of influencing and being influenced by other works. It is so much so in this piece of work. Again, like Sufana is saying that the images are very important, and the design, the para-linguistic and the para-textual elements that we talk about, the cover page, the back page, details about the author, details about the time and the publishing house. So these are all important details. Again, they would contribute eventually to a full understanding and a full appreciation of this picture book. Again, what comes out in terms of themes and ideas would be the idea of classes and the fact that there is always this perennial class struggle and this class clash, the fact that you have different classes and people from different classes um, are sometimes given the opportunity to reflect on reality as they see it. And obviously, reality and the perception of reality would differ from one class to another. And look, for example, at the mother and how she sees other people and how she sees reality around her. And look at the father who belongs to a low class society and how he sees the world. And obviously, the fact that he is unemployed in and of itself tells you something about what class he belongs to. And obviously, in if you're high class, being unemployed sometimes is part of the privilege. You can have the money, and you don't have to, and you have entitlements, and you don't have to work one day. So this idea of class and class struggle, and this idea that people should stick to their classes is very much there in the picture book. Again, also the idea of gender, and the idea of demographics when we talk about the young generation and the old generation. Again, everything is reversed as we expected, because it's a postmodern piece of work. When it comes to having different demographics, having the old and the young, and you're seeing, for example, the young commenting on the behavior of the old, and perhaps critiquing their behavior and criticizing them. And this is something that we have seen with Smudge, for example, when she talks about the mother and her snobbish behavior. So this is obviously, a function of the postmodern, where the tables are turned, where concepts and ideas and orthodoxies are being challenged real time. Again, it's not only that the young have the wisdom that perhaps the old do not enjoy, it's also about this reversal of genders. The fact that you also see the mother being very assertive, again, part of the power and the energy comes from the fact that she is high class. But also another part would be that she is a product of the postmodern, where this idea of gender is not fixed. You now have um, women in the postmodern who are given the opportunity to reverse the course of history, let me put it this way, and have judgments and assessments of their own. We have this with the mother, and we have this with Smudge. Smudge is being presented as very active if you compare her to her male counterpart, Charles. She is also even more assertive than her own father. And again, her judgments and assessments of the character of the mother are very correct and very sound. Again, this is a reversal of gender roles, where women are at the forefront, while men, and by men, of course, I mean the father, and I also mean Charlie, are given, or are perhaps portrayed in the background in terms of decisions that they take or they don't take, obviously. Their wimpy nature, and their hesitance and indeterminacy. So these are things that you would normally associate with men, but not anymore. At least this is not happening in Voices in the Park. Um, so in terms of themes, we have a lot that people can talk about when it comes to Voices in the Park. Again, it's post-modernity. Again, it's reversal of roles, reversal of gender roles, reversal of even demographics, and who is set to say what and how and why, right? Um, what else? Somebody is saying something. I can give you feedback if you want, yeah, Mona. Would you like me to give you feedback here? Because part of the class is about feedback. Would you like to listen to what I have to say about your script? Can you come to the mic and tell us what your problem is with your mock?
Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to open the mic before. If you can, I want to know why I get my grade because I feel like it is so low.
Solo? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will come back to that in a minute. So Mona, would you like to check your mark with me? Would you like me to give you the feedback that you want, that you send the email for? Okay. Okay, so we'll come back to this idea of feedback here, Budur, later. Remind me before we leave the class to give you the feedback that you want. So again, it's Voices in the Park. And again, the analysis does not start with what is written, with the first word or the first picture. It starts way back. It starts with the para-textual elements that we have, whether we're talking about the font of the title, whether we're talking about the image on the cover page, whether we talk about the biographical details about the author, whether we're talking about even the copyright details and information. Those are significant and they can all tell us. Again, when we talk about Voices in the Park, we talk about two aspects of, or two kinds of art. We talk about surrealistic art, and we talk also about impressionistic art. So impressionism is about your initial thoughts and ideas and feelings about something, and this is something that is common with every one of us. When I talk about something and I said that it's surreal, we're talking obviously about a more profound experience where we're engaging the psyche, where we're engaging whatever is inside us in dealing with stuff, that this stuff in itself is a mixture of whatever is real and whatever is imaginary, whatever is fantastic. And again, the two of them, the two aspects come together and they contribute towards the bigger picture in terms of our assessment of the whole experience. And this is again a part of what we see in Voices in the Park. Um, we have like another master class tomorrow, and I would like you to read the articles. Um, I would like you to read the articles on Voices in the Park so that we can talk more about it. I would like you to also check the video that I have sent. Remember the video? And let me check how many of you have um, kind of watched the video, because then this is perhaps the second week. I sent it way back and I expected people to come back and say that it's comprehensive, it's good, it's bad, it's... So have you watched the video? Because some of you did say that they have watched it and perhaps liked it. for its comprehensiveness and its relevance. And
Yes, doctor, I
so,
watched the
yeah,
video.
yeah, but it's a little bit long. It's perhaps 20 minutes or more.
With the
So,
visual that you've provided, I think it passed breezy.
mm. And did you notice that it's very comprehensive and it covers all the aspects?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You know, this is something I even recommend it when people ask me about how we can study this particular book. I say simply watch the video, and that would be more than enough.
It covers all the main themes that you've mentioned in
Yes,
the class.
yes. So do yourself a favor and go and watch it. You're going to like it. You will not need nothing else when it comes to Voices in the Park. Again, I still have so many recordings from past semesters, and I'm kind of AI generating them. But I don't believe that we need more when it comes to the. So again, do yourself a favor and go and check it. It's very comprehensive and very relevant. Um, okay, I think I'll stop on this note. Let me just remind you that we will have another set of in-class activities, and we're starting the first one, or perhaps we can call it the fifth, as we have already covered five of them, four of them, right? So we're doing the fifth tomorrow, and it's on Voices in the Park. So all the more reason for you to go and check the video, right?
Yes.
Right. I think Budur wanted me to highlight why she got the high mark that she got. Mm. Budur,
Yes, doctor.
24 and quarter, did I say? First of all, it's a high mark, by the way.
But I
Um,
expect to get more than it. يعني, for example, like 27, 26
oh,
at
mm,
least.
oh,
I expect to get this mark.
well. Okay, so again, I don't know whether you were here when we spoke about the idea of writing a full answer in one single paragraph, and we said that this is a no-no, and this is what you exactly are doing in the two short answers. And even though you did that, I gave you a high mark. I gave you in question one, the short answer question, I gave you 4 out of 5. Perhaps I should have
Mm-hmm.
given you less than that. And in the second short answer question, it's the same thing. One long paragraph. Again, this would take away from whatever solid answer you provided. And even though you don't have this organization that we expect, you got 3 and 3/4, and we should perhaps give it less than that. And then in the long answer question, you got 16.5, which is a high mark. Again, you have lots of story retelling to give. It's a lot of narrative where obviously you are narrating and retelling the story, which is something that we don't want. So obviously, there is a great deal of uh, I don't know what they call it when you write something and then you scrap it because you wanted to say something else. Again, the paragraphs are very long, and this is also an organizational error and problem. Um, Again, would I have given you more than 16 and a half in this question? The answer is no. Perhaps I could have given you less because of those organizational
So,
errors.
doctor,
Yeah.
so my big mistake is retelling the story
Being
and the
generic
organization.
sometimes, yeah, being generic where you talk about everything and you want us to extract the answer that we like or what that we want.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's what do they call it? It's um, um, this free size answers that fits all, obviously. I'm not undermining your efforts. You're doing an excellent job, and I'm so proud of you, of course, but I'm saying that there is always room for improvement. So what is it that you need to do for the upcoming stage? You need to kind of shorten your paragraphs because obviously they are too long, and you need to also give more analysis and get rid of the habit of retelling the story, of making and writing very long introductions. But you're doing a very good job already.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome, ya Budur. Okay. Any more questions before we call it a night? By the way, we're starting, and I'm opening the door for this. We're starting the debate club for this semester and this season, and we're having like what? We're having a debate round with Egypt branch. If you're interested, if you think you have what it takes, you can, write on the WhatsApp group so that we can have you join the team that we're preparing for this kind of competition. So who is willing to take part in that? Debates, you know what debates are? When we start an argument and then people defend or argue against it. Yeah, definitely you'll be with us, yeah, Sufana. So we will have Sufana with us as a team member. Who else would like to join our debate club? Okay, think about it. And if you think you
I'm
have,
having Dr. Poor internet quality. Can I join?
you have what?
Poor internet quality. I'm not sure if you've seen me raise my hand.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, yes, yes. No, you're doing a good job, I think. And judging from before, I mean, your internet connectivity was just fine. You don't have a problem, inshallah. I think Nana was raising her hand. Nana, did you say you want to join?
No, doctor.
What? You're saying yes or no?
No.
Okay. Okay. طيب. Um, طيب, on this note and with this item, we come to the end of today's session. I'll see you tomorrow at 4, and we will have the in-class activity at 6. And we're using the self-same link, the masterclass link tomorrow. Yalla. Good night, everyone. Or good, yeah. Have a pleasant evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.